Already, welcome back to the channel. This is a very special conversation that I'm having with my friend Will, who's also a Wharton classmate-ish. He's a second year now. But we talk all about service academies, and we lay down the strategies of not only how service academies have generational ROI that we continue to reap to this day, but also how we've leveraged our careers at service academies to get to Wall Street adjacent careers. So tap into this conversation, share it with somebody special, and please send this to someone who needs to consider going to a service academy. Tap in, this is the playbook.
I think the service academies make it a whole lot easier. Free money, essentially.
What case would you give for an athlete who wants to go Power 5, who thinks
It's hard work and discipline, and then education. The States and going to Abidjan, the Ivory Coast.
Talk about your journey to West Point.
I get a letter in the mail, say, hey, sorry to inform you, but you were not qualified to get into West Point, United States Military Academy. What's the difference between 70 and 71?
Nothing.
But the opportunities that West Point will provide you will be endless.
Would you have made a different decision?
Having access to that type of money for me at that time, my first payment was until September.
You ever wonder how people end up in money-making careers that run the modern economy? Some people stumble upon these life-changing opportunities, and some people find out when it's too late, if they ever find out, and neither should be the case. So we're putting the careers of the business landscape into perspective, one conversation at a time. My boy Will.
What's up? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Thank you for joining the conversation. On these conversations, we like to share information about our careers, about school, and really make sure we're not losing recipes, right? So with that, tell us a little bit about you, your upbringing, and some of those key elements that make your journey relevant to this conversation.
Absolutely. First, I want to be very vulnerable with everybody, say that I'm really nervous. And it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be able to express your feelings and express yourself.
Yeah.
And when you texted me, you said, hey, would you want to join the conversation? It was a hell yes for me. I said, absolutely. My brother Tyler asked me for something. Yeah. But then right after I said yes, I was like, I don't know if I'm sure if I really want to do this. I'm really nervous. I've never, really been in front of a camera recording a podcast, but there's this book I'm reading by Mel Robbins called The Let Them Theory. And the reason I felt nervous was because I was thinking about what other people were going to say. Yeah. And you can't worry about what other people are going to say. Yeah. If there's something you want to do, just do it. If it's a hell yes, do it. If it's not a hell yes, don't do it. So it's a no. But if it's a hell yes and it's getting you out of your comfort zone, just go ahead and do it. So that's the first thing I want to start with. Yeah. I'm nervous, but I'm truly excited to be here today. So I think kind of the elements that define me and my life and my upbringing started back in the Ivory Coast in Abidjan. So it's kind of like three lessons or elements and components that make me. And I think they're ingredients of the soup that I drink every single day and make me who I am.
Okay.
So it's selfless service. Yeah. It's hard work and discipline, and then education. Okay. So family came from Abidjan, Ivory Coast. My mom and my dad moved to France. The national language of the Ivory Coast is French. So they moved to France looking for better opportunities. And then from there, my mom moved to the States, and she was just trying to make ends meet. She was selling beauty products. She was selling soap, natural soap from the Ivory Coast. And my dad was going to school in France. It was a Naval Academy equivalent kind of school in France. From there, he became a technician and then moved to the States. So they were here in 1990. 2 years later, they had my older brother in 92. And then they had me in March 94. So if I'm doing the math correctly, in June 93, so a year after they had my older brother, they were pregnant with me. So in a very short period of time, they were pregnant with they had two kids. Yeah. Childcare is extremely expensive in this country. And I want to say combined, they were making less than $36,000. Wow. Right. So it was very, very tough for them. And they had to make an interesting decision. My mom felt like they couldn't put food on the table. And she felt like the people that were watching me and my brother weren't doing a great job. There were certain characteristics that she wanted to instill in us, and she felt like people that were watching us weren't doing a great job. Yeah. So she made a tough decision to send the both of us back to the Ivory Coast. Wow. I was 8 months old. Yes. Yeah. I was 8 months old. Obviously, I don't remember leaving the States and going to Abidjan, the Ivory Coast, but I remember being there for a little bit and some of those lessons that my grandmother taught me. So we moved there, lived there for 7 years, and during that time, I learned about selfless service. Yeah. My grandmother was a very, very giving woman, and she looked at everything in a very, very positive light. Yeah. I remember one kid stole my bike one day, and she said, if they stole your bike, it's because they needed it more than you.
Wow.
So it's okay. And I was like, no, I want my bike back.
Yeah.
Like, they stole my bike. But every single week she would cook for people in our village and in our community. And she was somebody that was always giving. So that first kind of lesson, a component of me, of who I am, that ingredient is selfless service.
Yeah.
Came back to the States, and something I saw my dad always did was he worked extremely hard at everything. And he felt like he could accomplish everything.
Yeah.
He was a church man. He was a deacon in my church. We were raised Catholic. Every single day he was up at 5 a.m. reading the Bible.
Yeah.
And then he would go to church at 6:30, and then he would go to work. That was his first job.
Yeah.
He had a second job. So first job was with QEI Inc. Second job was with Jenny King. And this is a cleaning services company.
Yeah.
And you go to different offices, different schools, and you would clean. And me and my brother would accompany him, and my uncles would accompany him. It was a family thing.
Yeah.
We all worked together trying to help him out.
Yeah.
So now he's working 2 jobs. He's constantly going to church.
Mm-hmm.
He had prayer groups every Friday.
Yeah.
Every single Saturday, we're doing house chores. And he's extremely disciplined every single day.
Yeah.
He's very predictable. You
Yeah.
know what he's going to do. He's going to go to church. He's going to go to work, first job, go his second job, and then just keep going. And my parents came and they had to learn English. And you speak to my dad, and he is a great English speaker because he worked every single day at it. So hard work and discipline was something I learned from my father. And then the third thing from my mother is education and the importance of education.
Talk about it.
And there's so much people could take from you. Whatever job you have, they can take it away. Even the degree that you have, they can take that sheet of paper away. You could lose your job, you could lose your family, you could lose everything. But if you have your education, if you have it all up here, whatever you have in between your ears, that's something nobody can take.
Right.
So prioritize your education in everything that you do. And my mom always told us positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Son, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to.
Yeah.
Son, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to constantly, over and over and over again. So those 3 things, selfless service, hard work, discipline, and education, are kind of what makes me, those are my ingredients to my soup. And I think if you put what my parents taught me, which is hard work, discipline, and education together, you can accomplish anything. You're absolutely unstoppable. Yeah. But if you add that third ingredient that my grandmother gave me of selfless service, you can find your passion, you can find your purpose, and you truly accomplish joy. And that's something nobody could take from you.
Man, I tell you what, I don't know if we'll ever have a better start to a podcast. Like that.
Don't do that.
No, man. That was so great, man. I hear so much of what I would say a lot of our parents, right, taught us, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Speaking of education, man, you got a nice little piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
That's your service academy ring?
It is, yes.
Okay. So
From West Point.
You went to West Point.
I did.
Talk about your journey to West Point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So first of all, for people watching, this is the best academy, West Point. You know, it is it's called the United States Military Academy,
really
right?
nice.
All encompassing. But
anyway,
kind of back to my point about education. My mom really prioritized education. And the first thing I want to say is that in life, like, you didn't get here by yourself, Tyler. I didn't get here by myself. None of us got here by ourselves, right? There was always somebody along the way that helped us. And that may have been that pivotal moment in our lives. And I think for me, it goes back to my 7th grade teacher, Ms. Farrar. She saw in me a stellar student, somebody that was very disciplined, obviously got it from my parents, and somebody that wanted to accomplish a lot and that was eventually going to be successful. She saw that for me. Yeah. And in 7th grade, she said, hey, you need to apply to this school called Del Barton High School. I had never heard of this school. It is in Morristown, New Jersey. I had never been in Morristown, from Newark, New Jersey, right? Literally lived in the project, lived in the hood in Newark, New Jersey. Yeah. And she's mentioning this school, Del Barton High School. I'm like, I don't know where that school is. I know my older brother goes to St. Benedict's Prep, which is in Newark, New Jersey. She's like, no, they have this scholarship. It's an extremely expensive school, but they have a scholarship and you could be competitive for it. Yeah. So I told my mom. My mom was like, why would you go to school 50 minutes away? Yeah. I don't have time to take you to school. Yeah. Your dad doesn't have time to take you to school. You don't have a car. Yeah. Like, are you going to take the train? We don't have money to send you to the school. Yeah. So she said, don't worry about it. Like, we'll take care of everything. I applied for the scholarship. I got into the school. And every single day I was waking up at 6 o'clock because the bus was leaving at 6:20.
Yeah.
So I was waking up at 6. I got ready really fast.
Real. Yeah. You was doing the Superman drill before you knew what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I was ready to be in the military. But anyways, bus would leave at 6:20 and I will go to school all the way out at Wharton, right? 45 minutes away every single day. And I prioritize education. Senior year came around. I didn't know what it is that I wanted to do. I knew that I was playing football.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the league.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the NFL. And the reason I wanted to go to the NFL is because I saw what most players got.
Talk about it.
Cars, big houses. They got whatever it is that they wanted. The jewelry. And that's the lifestyle I wanted. I think as almost any young black man.
Bro, yes.
being raised in the States,
yes,
you have those dreams of accomplishing something very, very big and making a whole lot of money. And you feel like the only path is by being an athlete. Yeah. So that was my mindset. But luckily I wasn't too hard headed because I went to Wharton and I listened to my mom and had pretty decent grades. Yeah. I wasn't that talented. I worked extremely hard. Yeah. Right. And I think hard work beats talent. Yeah. Any day. Right. So I didn't have any D1 scholarships or D1 recruits, and I got recruited to play Division III football at Wharton College. That felt like a natural path for me. I was following my older brother. He was at Wharton College. So I went there. I was there for a year. I had financial aid. I had some grant money. Yeah. And then I did work study to be able to pay for school and to pay for my living situation. Yeah. Right. That was great the first year. The second year, there was issues with my financial aid and my grant money. And it was August. I was working as a camp counselor. Yeah. I get an email and say, hey, like your tuition is due in 2 weeks, $25,000 for the semester. I said, whoa. Yeah, we ain't got it. There's no amount of work study that I could do to get $25,000 for just one semester. Yeah. My parents absolutely don't have the money to pay for me to go to school for that one semester. So I told them I can't go to school. Right. So I didn't go to school for a year. And during that time, I was doing nonprofit. I was in Lewiston, Maine, working nonprofit, helping students from East Africa with the college application, SATs, ACTs, writing their essays. And there was this one student, Bewee, I remember to this day. He was like, Will, you talk about, you're 18. At this time, I'm 18 years old. I'm mentoring kids that are 16, 17 years old. Yeah. He's like, Will, you talk about college being so important and education being so important, but you're not in college. You don't have a college education. And like, basically, what's your plan? That was kind of a wake-up call for me. Okay. I was like, I need to figure it out. I need to figure out what it is I'm going to do. I had a very unconventional path to West Point. So my dad said, hey, there's this school, military school called West Point, and maybe you should apply to it. Just kind of like look into it. Yeah. He didn't tell me about the Air Force Academy. He didn't tell me about the Naval Academy because he probably just didn't know about it.
Yeah, he made a mistake.
Right. He might have heard about it from some of his friends in New York and Jersey are right next to each other. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me give this a shot. Let me just apply to the school and let's see what happens. Yeah. So I opened my application. Obviously, you need your SAT and ACT. I hadn't taken it in over a year because I was already in school, and they said, hey, you need to retake the test. And I said, okay, well, I already completed a year of college. I already graduated from high school. What do I need to retake the SAT and ACT for? Like, well, we need that test. So I started studying for the SAT and ACT. Wow. I knew what I needed to do to eventually get where I wanted to be. There's probably a lot of obstacles in the way and things that I didn't want to do. And that's part of just the sacrifice. So took the SAT, took the ACT. There was a PT test I had to take, and I was disqualified because of my shoulder. So there was lots of ups and downs. And then I remember December 23rd of 20. Yeah, I remember the day, 2 days before Christmas, December 23rd, because I was 2014. I get a letter in the mail.
Hold on. Spam the like button. Back to the video.
Say, hey, sorry to inform you, but you were not qualified to get into West Point United States Military Academy. Okay. But we would like to give you an opportunity to go to the United States Military Academy Preparatory School. So now I'm sitting here. I completed a year of college. I'm taking a year off doing community service and working in a nonprofit. And now you want me to do an additional year? And I'm comparing myself to some of my peers, and I'm saying, my peers will be ready to graduate college at this point, and I'm starting all over again.
Yeah.
And I remember calling one of my field force reps. These are individuals that help with the application process. And he said, Will, 30 years from now, when you graduate from, like, once you become a West Point graduate, nobody's going to care if it took you 5 years or 4 years to do.
Yeah.
You would be set for life.
Bro.
So when you're 7 years old and you're part of class of 2019, what's the difference between 70 and 71?
Nothing.
But the opportunities that West Point will provide you will be endless.
Man.
That was that day, December 23rd. Because it was 2 days before Christmas. I remember reading it. I'm like, I'm going to prep school.
Yeah.
So I called him. And that was the advice he gave me.
Yeah.
So that was my path to West Point. It was very, very different, unconventional, but God has a plan. If you believe in a higher power, God has a plan, and preparation, timing, serendipity, luck, all had to align together.
Yeah.
For your life to be what it is.
Yeah. Man, I think it's a blessing and it's kind of sad that you stumbled across West Point. Right. And I think that's the crux of the issue that I want to talk about with you today, man. Yeah. So you end up going to West Point, go to the prep school. Now, obviously, you're about to go intern at Goldman. Right. Congratulations. Thank you on that. Do you regret that decision?
Going to West Point?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I worked as a diversity admissions officer at West Point for 2 years. Yeah. Before transitioning and coming to Wharton. Mm-hmm. I think that West Point is not for everyone.
Right.
And it's the path and it's the cards that were handed to me. Yeah. I had to go through the challenges. I had to go through the obstacles and the trials and the tribulations to eventually get to where I am today. Yeah. And there are just so many lessons that I learned along the way that has made me the man I am today, made me the person I am today. Yeah. And the personal development, the leadership development, the emotional development that I've gone through from being at West Point, to me, is second to none. So just some of the challenges that I faced while being at the academy, and don't want to go into too many details, but having my back against the wall, failing a swim class. I am terrible at swimming, and we had to take a swim class.
You don't know it?
Not just in swim trunks, but with uniform and gear on. Yeah, going into the school, I was not a great swimmer, and there was a mental block that I just couldn't swim. That's what I told myself. Yeah, I can't swim. Yeah, but West Point got that out of me. Right. Yeah. It took me a few times. I failed the class a few times, but I eventually passed it. Yeah. And now that's something that's in my toolkit, that if you practice hard enough, you put in enough work, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you will eventually accomplish it. Yeah, man. So those are the type of lessons that you learn from going to a place like West Point. Yeah. And for me, I don't regret it. Right. Yeah. When I work in admissions, my kind of approach when I spoke to any high school student was, I'm just here to inform you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Yeah. I want to make sure that you have the information. And I meet way too many older folks, more mature folks, for lack of better words. Some of y'all are old. But anyways, older folks who say, wow, you're such an impressive young man. You've done so much. Like, I wish I knew about West Point when I was younger. Yeah. Or, oh, well, my son and daughter are struggling in these specific areas, and I wish I knew about West Point. I would have sent them to West Point had I known about it. Yeah. So my approach is, I just want to inform you about the academies. Yeah. I want to inform you about the opportunities, and I want you to make an informed decision. Like you said, I stumbled onto West Point. Yeah. That shouldn't have been the case. I should have known about West Point. I should have known about all the other schools. I should have known about HBCUs, and then made an informed decision that I feel like would be best for me. Yeah.
I like it. Thank you, bro. Okay, so knowing all of this now, right? You're on the other side of it, about to go to Goldman, Wharton. Would you have made a different decision, assuming you had more cards on the table? Like, assuming you knew about HBCUs, you knew about Ivy Leagues, you knew about state schools, you're at West Point, you're talking to your friends who are at state schools having a great time. Would you have made a different decision?
Absolutely not.
Man, I share so many of those same sentiments. Even when this is crazy. Even when you brought up swim, like, you don't know it, man. But I got some PTSD too, man. Yes. That's crazy. So, why do you think the service academies are so misunderstood, and especially in underrepresented communities? Because when I committed to the Air Force Academy, it was radio silent in my house for days. My parents did not speak to me.
Right.
They thought I was signing up to die.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you think there's taboo behind service academies?
Absolutely. This is my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lack of exposure around the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a disconnect between those communities, so some of those marginalized communities, and the overall just government.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's also a lack of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So first, a lack of education and the lack of education around some of the opportunities. Mm-hmm. When I was working as an admissions officer at West Point, anytime I walk into a high school, whether that's in Atlanta, Chicago, any metropolitan city, those students think that I'm a recruiter and I'm coming to recruit them to go into the Army, right? Yeah. And they're going to take the path of being soldiers and then potentially going to be NCOs. They don't see me as somebody who's coming in to give them the opportunity of a lifetime to talk about their education and advancing their education. So there's an education piece. I have to teach them what is West Point.
Yeah.
What am I going to be doing for 4 years? What is it going to look like? Where is it?
Yeah.
Most students don't even know where West Point is.
Yeah.
I would say 80% of the students I've talked to thought West Point was in the South, unless obviously you're from the South. I'm like, no, we're in upstate New York. Yeah. We're an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes away from New York City. So they don't even know where the location is. So once I've taught them exactly what West Point is, and usually my brief is about an hour long. There's only so much you could teach somebody in an hour. Right. Now they're going back home. They're maybe talking to their parents about some of these opportunities. Yeah. And unfortunately, we know what the history is like. Yeah. For people from some marginalized communities, our background, never really had yeah. But to try to convince someone from that community to serve the country that you feel like maybe hasn't loved you, right? Hasn't cared about you, hasn't seen you the same way as they see other individuals, is very, very, very tough. Yeah. So it's difficult to disassociate the academies from what has happened here in terms of the history of our nation. Yeah. So because of that, there may be a student that's excited about the school, excited about the opportunities, but mom and dad are like, absolutely not. Yeah. I'm not going to put my son in harm's way or my daughter in harm's way to serve this country, and ask them to potentially make the ultimate sacrifice.
It's real.
It's real, and it's tough. And this is something that I dealt with firsthand. I experienced firsthand. Yeah. Talking to parents about how my life has changed because of the Service Academy, because of West Point. Yeah. Trying to convince them why I think it's a great opportunity for their son or daughter. I've seen students, brilliant students, maybe take a quote unquote lesser of a school because of the fact that they didn't want to serve, they didn't want to put the uniform on, and it just wasn't seen in a positive light in their household. Yeah. The next thing is just lack of exposure. Yeah. So there was a study, Pew Research study, that surveyed students between the age of 13 and I want to say 21. Okay. And in 1990, 40% of them had someone in their family who had served in the military, just in the military, 40%. They did that in 2024, October 2024, 15%. Wow. So there's a lack of exposure. It's just not seen in a positive light. And if you don't see a parent in your family that's served, and this is just overall, right? If you don't have somebody in your family that has served, you don't have somebody to look up to. Yeah. So I think those are probably some of the biggest reasons why it's seen in a negative light in our community.
Man, I really hope you guys are taking notes, especially parents out there, anyone who's in high school, who's curious about the service academies. This is real stuff. I do have another question about like the athlete component, right? Because you're an athlete, I'm an athlete. But before we get that, just speaking of like the benefits, right? Yeah. So yes, we're at the #1 business school in the world, by the grace of God. You're about to go work on Wall Street. You go in real estate, right? Like a couple homes.
Yes.
Couple,
I do. Yes.
Yeah. I do too. I do too. would you sort of attribute that to your time in the military?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. The world is very small for you, accessible for you, right? Which will increase the amount of opportunities for career and even your family. You and I, we've talked about things that we're putting together for our families to help make life easier. Right. Do you think you would have gotten that without going to the service academy?
Oof. I would like to say I think the service academies make it a whole lot easier.
Got you.
Right. And they make it to that I get there maybe a little bit faster. I think that because of how I was raised and some of those components I talked about earlier, selfless service, hard work, discipline, and education, I would have gotten here, hopefully. Of course. We're hoping that. The service academies have those resources, have people around you and that are thinking about the same things. They're thinking about generational wealth. Yeah. And some of these opportunities are just mind-boggling. Yeah, bro. To even think that I'm able to access some of these resources, right? Yeah. So first I want to just talk about the academies first. Yeah. Tuition free. I don't think anything in life is actually free. Of course. But there's obviously an opportunity cost of going to the academy. I think people talk about your college years. Those are the best years of your life because you're meeting some friends, you're out, you're partying, you're having a good time, right? You can't necessarily always do that at the service academies. There's rules, there's regulations. You're part of a system and you kind of have to follow that system. Yeah. Anything you could look at in a negative light, you could look at it in a positive light, right? Yeah. That structure is something that helps set you apart from your peers. For the rest of your life. Yeah. Because you're developing discipline, right? Being part of that structure for 4 years, you're developing discipline. Yeah. That is a skill set that maybe some of your peers don't have by going to a bigger school or state school, right? Another opportunity cost, I think, is having a decision of the type of industry that you want to go into, because you have to serve once you graduate from the academies. Yes, you do. Obviously, there's so many different jobs in the Air Force, in the Army, in the Navy. So many different, jobs that you can do within the branch. Yeah. But you can't go into like investment banking. You can't even go into consulting. So you're kind of limiting yourself around that. On the flip side, you are going to be a leader. You're developing yourself as a leader. Once you graduate, you're in charge of 20 to 30 to 40 individuals. That's something that most of your peers are not doing once they graduate. Yeah. In addition to that, you have an opportunity to go to a location, go to a place that you've never been to before. Yeah. Right. I never been into the Middle East, and that's something that I had an opportunity to do while I was in the military. I I deployed to Qatar. Yeah. It wasn't travel. I deployed to Qatar. But you have an opportunity to see different parts of the world and see different people, and just it informs you as an individual, makes you a very well-rounded individual from going to the academy. Now, the tuition piece, right? So you're going to school basically for free. You're going to one of the top schools in the country for free, in the world for free. You get paid every single month. Yeah. Most of your peers can't say they're getting paid every single month. Yes, you do. In your junior year, January of your junior year, I remember I was asleep and I woke up and I had $36,000 just in my account. Yep. And I was like, wait, this can't be real life. Yeah. I didn't do anything and I just got $36,000 in my bank account. Now, to some, that may not be a lot of money. To me, that is a lot of money. Yeah. Right? Now, you want to be smart with that money. You want to invest it. You want your money to work for you. But just having access to that type of money for me at that time, in one day, I'm making close to as much as both of my parents. Yeah. It's different, bro. That's something that you can't get anywhere else. And if we want to get into the numbers, you are essentially paying 0.75% interest on that. It doesn't matter what is going on in the market, where the interest rates are. Yeah. Your interest rate for that loan will always be under 1%. Free money, essentially. You don't start paying that money back until September of after you graduate. So this is January 2018. My first payment was until September 2019. Yeah. Yeah. That's basically, 18 months of just money just sitting there where I could put it to work. Yeah. If you're smart, I didn't invest in Bitcoin, but some of my friends did. And they're Bitcoin, Tesla, Nvidia, whatever it is. Yeah. They made a whole lot of money from that.
Yeah.
So those are some of the financial benefits while you're at the academy.
Wow.
Once you graduate, you're making more than the average American.
Mm-hmm.
A portion of that is tax-free, right?
Yeah.
A good portion of that is tax-free.
Yeah.
That's another financial benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Your health is completely taken care of.
Yeah.
Health benefits. Your insurance is completely taken care of. If you have a family, they're also under your insurance. Yeah. I know I'm kind of I'm listing a lot, but these are all the benefits that you do get from just going to the Service Academy. And then the last piece, you talk about real estate.
Yeah.
There's something called the VA loan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One of the toughest things about not being able to buy property is not having the down payment. If you don't have the down payment, then you can't buy the property, right? Something that the military does is you don't have to put any money down.
Yeah.
Zero down. You get a very competitive interest rate, and that property is yours. That's something that I did. I took advantage of when I was in Texas.
Yeah.
I bought a duplex. I put zero money down.
Yeah.
And actually, the day I signed for the property, I got money back because I was a first-time home buyer. I don't know all the details, but wait, so you telling me I just bought a house and you paid me money?
Yeah.
And I have a tenant on one side. I have roommates on the other side. Wait, so this house is mine and I'm getting paid every single month and I'm living for free? So these are the type of opportunities that going to the academy, graduating from West Point, and being in the Army have afforded me. Yeah. And I think that is a path to eventually being financially free.
Man, you're giving all the game right now. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, and you kind of answered this, but I sort of want to tailor it a bit because I think at this point we've spoken to the student who's just curious about college, right? Mm-hmm. In the age of NIL, what about the athlete though? Yeah. Right? Because I know service academies are losing athletes to NIL.
Right.
What case would you give for an athlete who wants to go Power 5, who believes that they can make it,
right,
to choose a service academy for the long run over Power 5 school, state school, etc.?
Yeah. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
And I think I wasn't recruited to play at West Point. I walked on the team. Once again, hard work over talent.
Yeah, of course.
Well, for one, West Point just joined the ACC. And then after the first year of joining the ACC, we just won the conference championship. Yeah. Coach Munkin has done an amazing job at just turning that whole program around.
Yeah.
I want to say, just strictly looking at numbers, there's about 77,230 college football players in the NCAA. I think like any given year. Somebody check me. About maybe 1,200 of them make it to the NFL, either through free agent or you're getting drafted.
Yeah.
If you're doing the math, that's less than 2%.
Yeah.
It's like 1.7, 1.8% of athletes that are making it to the league.
Yeah.
There are different reasons why they're not making it to the league. Whether you're not good enough, you don't have the talent, somebody's better than you, which it happens.
Right.
It could be injuries. It could be playtime. There's so many different factors. So I think you should always have a plan B and control what you can control.
Yeah.
That plan B is your education.
Yeah.
That plan B is your social capital.
Yeah.
That plan B is the access to resources, access to different industries, access to different professional pursuits.
Yeah.
The academies provide you with that. Yeah. So you have an opportunity to play Division I football, still have a chance to make it to the league. If you're good enough, you're going to make it to the league. We have athletes that have gone through the service academies and made it to the league.
Yes.
But if for some reason life happened and there are some uncontrollables, you still have a scholarship. That's not the same case for most schools. If you can't produce, if you're on the team, you're not producing because you're injured, I'm pretty sure you lose your scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you're out of school. You lost your scholarship. Now you're not sure how you're going to pay for school. And who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're going to a service academy, if you decide that you fell out of love with the game, you don't like just how professional playing football is, right? No, yeah, me too. There's a lot of athletes that go to the service academies for a few years and then pivot.
Yeah.
You can fall out of love with the game. It's not as fun as it was in high school. Right. You could get injured. Like, life happens. But at the end of the day, at the service academies, you still have those financial benefits. You still have that scholarship. So that would be my pitch for joining the service academies.
Yeah.
And we're just getting better and better. We're the service academies overall.
Oh, okay. I thought
are
you
getting
said
no,
West.
not just Westwood, not just Westwood. The service academies overall are getting better and better. They're getting better talent, and I think if you want to play and you want to showcase your skills, why not do it at a service academy?
Yeah, and also if you want to all but guarantee that you can take care of your family, man.
Right.
And even if you're in one of those lanes where, like, if your hustle works out well, you can also take care of your parents.
Right.
If you're in that lane, consider betting on a service academy. Truly.
Yeah.
My last question about the service academies for West Point.
Yeah.
Describe a day in your life as like a student athlete. My bad for triggering you, bro. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. So, wreck my brain a little bit. Okay. So it's long days.
Yeah.
Usually you have formation around 6:45. The times change slightly depending on who the commandant is kind of every year and who goes to morning formation or breakfast formation. But usually I'm going to say breakfast formation is around 6:45. While I was there, only the plebes or the freshmen is what we call freshmen plebes.
Yeah.
Only the freshmen or had to go to breakfast formation. Yeah. And then at one point it was the whole school. It kind of changes, goes back and forth. But you have breakfast formation. First class is at 7:30. Mm-hmm. So nice and early.
Yeah.
And at 7:30 also something called AMI starts. Mm-hmm. So anti-meridian inspection. So your room has to be clean, your bed has to be made, everything has to look nice and pristine in your room at 07:30. And that goes from 07:30 to 10:30. And somebody's upperclassman is going to walk around and just inspect your room. So make sure it's looking clean. And if you don't have class, you can be in your room and you have to be awake. You can't be sleeping, essentially, starting at 7:30. So class 7:30 all the way till around noon. At noon, there is lunch formation, and this is an opportunity for anybody that's in charge of a platoon or the school, anybody that's in charge of a group of students or cadets. It's an opportunity for them to give out any pertinent information, give out direction of what the rest of the day is going to look like, if the company has anything that they have to do for that day.
Yeah. From
there, you march into we call it the mess hall or the dining hall. Everybody eats lunch at the same time.
Yep.
Everybody eats lunch at the same time.
Yeah.
And it happens in about 20 minutes.
It's crazy.
It's actually it's impressive how they do it.
Yeah.
And I always give credit to our mess hall staff because they do a phenomenal job of making sure that we are well fed. And whatever it is that you need, they're there for you.
Yeah.
4,400 cadets eat at the same time in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Look up I'm challenging you, look up the video, look up West Point Mess Hall, and you're going to see just how they do it.
It's crazy. It's a machine, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about operations, right?
Right.
After you eat, there's usually an hour of maybe it's a dean's hour or commandant's hour, where they're probably doing leadership development. There's maybe a brief or just some type of military training. It's usually around that hour. That it changes from year to year depending on who the leadership is. After that, you have more classes. But if you're an athlete, if you're in season, let's say a football athlete, you don't have any afternoon classes. Yeah. So after lunch, you're essentially done for the day. You have study hall, and then you go up to the stadium, and then you have film, you have workout, you have treatment if you're hurt, and then you have practice. Practice goes till about, I want to say like 7:15, 7:30.
Yeah.
After that, you eat dinner with the team, and then you have another study hall.
Yeah.
And then after that study hall, maybe then around 9:30, then you're going to your room, and then taps. Taps is basically bedtime. Taps is at 11:30. Yeah. Everybody has to be in their room. Make sure you're in your room. Don't try to not be in your room. Don't stuff your bed with pillows.
Yeah.
Make sure you are in your room, right? And that's kind of for a Division I athlete. That's essentially your day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a long day. It's a long day.
It is. And you went through that for about 4 years. Well, 5 technically, because you went to the prep school.
Yeah, so I actually didn't play all 4 years.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we talked about that a little bit. I didn't play all 4 years. Okay. So I played 2 years, and then I stopped. Injuries, and honestly, there's other people that are better than me on the team. So it was kind of a mutual decision. Like, hey, I don't think I want to continue playing. I stopped playing. Then I was focusing on school. But every single cadet does have to play some type of sport.
Right.
And there are 3 categories: either you're a Division I athlete, competitive club sport, or intramural sports.
Gotcha.
So every year you have to be part of one of those 3 categories.
Right. And then even when you weren't playing, and you don't have to go into detail about this, but just generally every year at one of these service academies from 07:30 to about what, 22, 30?
Yeah.
Grind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grind all day.
Yeah.
I would say that you have earned the right to be here, bro.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, you've earned your wealth.
Right.
Those cribs you own.
Yeah.
You earned all of that,
Yeah.
bro. So congrats on that.
Absolutely.
Man. So I don't want to talk about your career in the Army as much.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about business school.
Okay.
When did you know you wanted to go to business school? How'd you even hear about business school going through a service academy?
Yeah. So first of all, my mom always talked about education.
Yeah.
But it was, you need to get your education. You need to further your education. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Being a first generation guy, student, person.
Yeah.
It was engineering.
Yeah.
Law school or doctor.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not really interested in any of those three. I went to West Point, it's an engineering school. I was an engineering major, but I always had an appreciation for finance and how money moves.
Yep.
And one of the books that like changed my life was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yep.
Read when I was, I want to say like 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. Something my mom always said was save, save, save. Yeah. I realized that no, I don't need to save. I need to invest. Like that's the most important thing I need to do. So I always knew I wanted to get a master's in something. And while I was at the academy, one of my mentors was back at West Point working in admissions. He had a similar path in the Army as me. And he went to UCLA for his business degree. So I asked him about, what is business school? What is it? What do you do? And he was explaining it to me. And I was like, well, I would love to be in your position. I want to come back to West Point and work as the head of admissions. He was the head of diversity admissions. Okay. I was like, I would love to come back and be in your position. This seems like a dope job. Yeah. You're always smiling. You're always happy. You get to talk to families and you're just always extremely excited. So this is something I want to do. Yeah. And the advice he gave me is he did something called advanced civil schooling. So ACS. Okay. So the Army pays for you to go to school. Right. And for every year you're in school, you have to owe back 2 or 3 years. It changes from time to time. But he was like, if you don't want to stay in the Army, then you don't necessarily need to do advanced civil schooling. You could just get out of the Army and then go to business school. Yeah. So this was my junior year. So that's when I kind of knew about business school. I knew I wanted to go to business school. Another kind of exposure to business school is I'm part of a fraternity, Division D9 fraternity. Yeah. And some of the older bros in my chapter had gone to business school. Mm. And I saw the type of life they were living. And I was like, I want to live that life.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah.
I remember them coming either for the Army-Navy game or visiting the school. And they just have this aura around them, how they walk, how they talk, right? How they communicate. And I was like, I want to be like that.
They talking money.
Yeah. When they walk by, you just smell money.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be like that. And all of them had gotten their business degree. Yeah. They had all gotten an MBA. So I was like, okay, I really need to go to business school. And I remember when I first got to my unit, or when I was in BOLIC, basic officer leadership course.
Got you.
Something we had to do is write our 5-year plan. Yeah. And in my 5-year plan, I was like, at year 5, I want to go to business school. Yeah. And at the time, it was Columbia Business School. Okay. And the reason is, that's all I knew.
That's all you knew.
I'm from New Jersey. Yep. I knew one person that went to UCLA, and then Columbia Business School is close by. And I was like, I get to be close to my mom. So, okay, my goal is to go to Columbia Business School. Mm-hmm. And I wrote that goal down. Yeah. It's like, I want to get my business degree. I want to go to Columbia Business School. Yeah. So that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, I know I want to get a business degree. It's a matter of how am I going to go about getting that business degree? Am I going to do advanced civil schooling and stay in the Army, or am I going to transition out and try to figure out how to pay for it?
What piece of advice, right, do you want to leave to people who are coming after you?
Absolutely. First thing I would say is, my football coach used to say this: be quick, but don't be in a hurry. Okay. So be quick, but don't be in a hurry. Somebody that's quick has done the work to earn that quickness, right? Whether that's the footwork, they know the play, they watch film, so that they can be quick. You would have done the work in order to be quick. Yeah. But don't be in a hurry. Yeah. When you're in a hurry, you're trying to rush something, right? And this was my running back coach that told me this. If you're quick enough, you're gonna hit the hole with just enough time. Yeah. And the hole's going to open up, and you also have to be very patient at the same time. Yeah. When you're in a hurry, you're trying to rush there, you're going to run into your lineman. Right. So one, be quick, but don't be in a hurry. Mm-hmm. And that's a life lesson. in everything that you do. Don't try to cut any corners. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to rush the process. Take your time with the process.
Yeah.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah. That's
Life has so many lessons, tough lessons.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Those trials, tribulations, obstacles that you face.
Yeah.
When you look back at it, you're like, wow, I'm so glad I went through that because it made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And I know I'll talk a little bit here, but the three things I really, really want to leave everybody with is, one, health is wealth.
Yeah.
There are 5 components of your health.
Yeah.
Financial health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health.
Yep.
Take care of your health.
Yep.
Whatever that means for you. I'm not here to tell anybody what being healthy looks like for them, whatever that means for you.
Yep.
Be healthy.
Yep.
Because if you're a CEO of a big company, if you're really sick and the doctor says, hey, we need you to come for this surgery today, you're at that time, the only thing you're focused on is your health.
Is your health. That's
so
right.
Make sure you take care of your health first, because health is wealth. The next thing is relationships.
Yep.
Relationships are extremely, extremely important. Build genuine relationships. Make memories with the people that you love.
Yeah.
And take the time to appreciate them, to tell them thank you.
Yeah.
Show gratitude.
Gratitude, baby. Yeah.
Without that, what are we living for?
Yeah.
Right? So be intentional about spending that time with those individuals. Make those memories, because you have to be intentional about how you spend your time.
Yeah.
That's the most important currency we have as humans.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah.
That's number 3.
Get it done.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, get it done.
Yeah.
Right? Proverbs 23:7, right? If you can think it, you can do it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
So just get it done. Whatever it is for you, just get it done.
Man, well, I appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, man. Thank you for really encouraging us to change how we think about service academies. And we definitely got to do a part 2 with this, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, bro.
All right, bro.
Yeah.